Okay, what's up, guys? So in this video, I am going to be explaining how to build your personal brand from scratch. So real quick, if you guys don't know, my name is Alexis Turan, Chief Strategist at Level Life Media. I've worked with multiple six, seven, eight. No, see, I don't even want to do that. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Alexis Turan, Chief Strategist at Level Life Media. So if you guys don't know, just a quick, brief rundown. I'm a content creator, videographer, creative director, brand strategist, personal brand strategist. I've worked with multiple six, seven-figure entrepreneurs on developing their personal brand through content, right? So here we're going to be explaining how to build your personal brand from scratch. My takeaway is I want you guys to leave here with the ability to post content that helps carve out, grow, and develop your personal brand. Like I hope that's like the takeaway you get from this video. I really do. So hopefully I did a great job. When it's all over, you guys can tell me. So anyways, let's get right into it, right? So what is a personal brand? So textbook definition of a personal brand is, let's pull this up. Cool. So it is how you want people to see you. Okay. Reputation is about credibility, and reputation is important. And that plays into personal branding as well. But your personal brand is more so about the visibility and the values that you outwardly represent. So, in other words, what people think of when they see you. When you're not in the room, what do people say, right? Regarding you and your business. And now, the both are definitely tied together, right? So, like, what people think of you definitely affects how people think of your business, right? If they don't like you for whatever reason, they're going to find something bad to say about your business, right? You can be the best businessman in the world. They'll find something. Like people always do, right? People always find an excuse. Now, if people like you, you will get a lot of leeway and you'll get a lot of passes, and they'll always look for something good to say about your business. That's just how people work, right? It's funny, but not really. But that's just what it is. The sad truth, that's just what it is. So without further ado, let's kind of get right into it, right? So what do you think of when you see this photo? I think a few things, right? One of them is, why are there so many cameras around Elon Musk, right? Like, obviously he's at an event, but it's like some of them are visibly pointing at him. Even the here, like they're taking a photo of him. Why, right? It's funny. Two, if you know, this is the Met Gala. Why is Elon Musk at the Met Gala? That makes a little sense, I guess, but like, why is Elon at the Met Gala, right? The Met Gala is like, for those that don't know, it's like a big fashion thing. It's like where a lot of entertainers and fashionistas go, mingle, celebrate, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But this whole thing is like, it's a thing, right? Um, and third, I think another question that I also have is like, why? So this photo, I pulled it from GQ. Why is Elon Musk on GQ? Since when do scientists, developers, entrepreneurs, business owners, like, since like I've never seen the chairman of General Mills on GQ. If he's on there, hey, more power to him. But I've never known like for this to be a thing. The era where the entrepreneurs are now famous and celebrities, quote unquote, is a relatively new thing, right? So with that being said, the importance of personal branding has skyrocketed for sure. Like Tesla, Elon, right? SpaceX, Elon. So I feel like you, as an entrepreneur or a business owner, it benefits you 100 times over to build up your personal brand. You can definitely go places where your business can, and the caveat to that is, when you hit these levels, it will elevate all of your business, how much ever that is, right? Cool. So we're established. Elon Musk built a personal brand, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. He built one, right? When people think of Elon, they think of a lot of things. Whether you love him or hate him, that's neither here nor there. You at least know who he is. You put a face to a name, and you put a face to the business, right? Cool. Let's move forward. So on a smaller scale, let's take it to the next few guys. I know it looks kind of scary, but don't think too deep into it. So the guy on the left is Wes Watson. You may know the guy on the right, or my right, Gary Vee, but let's start with Wes, right? So Wes, I don't know what he was doing before, but he did, I believe it was like 10 years in prison. And then he got out and he started YouTube telling just like multiple prison stories. Started YouTube, and that was very successful. I think he was bringing in about 6-7 figures from his YouTube alone, just telling stories, man, just telling really good stories. Mind you, he's good at what he does. Like, he definitely keeps it entertaining and highly educational, but that's what he was doing, telling stories. And from there, he moved over to online fitness coaching. So let's kind of break that down a little bit, right? So gets out of prison, no one knows who he is. He is a felon or a convict, however you guys say it. And essentially, he's one of those people where he can't get a job. I don't know if this is his story. I'm just assuming, right? Hops on YouTube. He is wildly entertaining, puts out extremely valuable information, and he develops a following. He builds an audience. And when that peaks, not saying it did, but let's just say when that peaks, he transfers over to online fitness. Sorry, to online fitness, and tons of his subscribers go along with him. Guys, you can't pay for that type of advertising. You can't pay for that type of marketing. That's all organic, right? Let's stick to that. That's all organic. So, excuse me. He builds up an online fitness business, and he's crushing it now, right? He's on 6, 7, I think 8 figures now. So that right there is a pure black and white, in your face example of why building a personal brand is important, right? So now let's go to the next guy, Gary Vee. A lot of you guys may know him. You guys are like, hey, he's not a small, he's not a small name, small brand. No, he's not, but he was, right? Let's really zoom out and let's look at Gary's story. Gary was working at a wine store in New Jersey. Like, how is he now this serial entrepreneur that's just taking over America? You know how? Through content. That's how you got to know him, through content. And you got to know him, you got to like him, you got to trust him, built up his personal brand, and now he's everywhere. He's literally everywhere. Gary Vee, he's one of the few guys who gets it. So again, these are two very clear in-your-face examples of why you should build a personal brand. Excuse me. Okay, so my personal goal is for you, at the end of this video, you have the tools necessary to start building up your very own personal brand. I am going to give you guys our framework. Our framework is not that complex, but it helps us, and we use it on every single client. It helps structure how we're going to build up a personal brand. So I'm going to give it to you guys. It's really like when I break it down, I'm gonna be like, that's it? Yes, that's it. But I'm gonna break it down to you guys. I'm gonna give it to you guys. Hopefully you guys can take away from it, and start implementing it right away, right? That's my personal goal. So let's get into it, right? Like, now this is the nitty gritty. This is kind of one of our previous clients, just to kind of show you like the thought process behind it, right? Billy Lau, professional boxer, gym owner, boxing trainer. A lot of people knew him as a professional boxer, but as you guys may know, being a boxer, it's very few of them who show their personality. Very few of them who show who they truly are, right? A lot of them, it's more focused on the fighting. So he wanted to move from, okay, he retired from boxing. He opened up a gym. He was a trainer, an educator, but he wanted to etch out his personal brand, his persona, right? So through multiple conversations with Billy, what we did is I got to find out the root of who Billy was. And we started putting out content based on that. Not what he did, what he was doing, more so who Billy was. Because content is 20% fact, 80% perspective. That's really all it is, guys. Like people overcomplicate this stuff. Some people like want to pull out dictionaries, they want to pull out law books because they want to be factual. No. Yes, you have to be factual, right? You never want to lie or sell dreams to people. But a lot of it is perspective. Let's zoom out. Let's look at everyone. Let's look at Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, I'm trying to Tony Robbins. They all at the core say the same thing. Maybe some go a little bit more in depth over here, a little bit more in depth over there, a little more in depth but it's all, what separates them is their perspective. That's really it. Right? So moving on to the next one. Tanner Chister, online business coach. So someone like him, he was always behind the scenes. I mean, he was in front of the camera, but he wasn't really showing his personality too much. He was, but the challenge is, when you get so big, you almost become unrelatable. That's the issue a lot of guys have, right? They get too big and they become a little unrelatable. And it's like, with him, we had to dig into some old stuff. We had to kind of show more vulnerable side. As you can see, nearly committed suicide right there. That's an ad from 2018. Back when he was more quote unquote relatable and easier to touch. We can do this at whatever level you're at, right? A lot of people think, oh, I'm too big or I'm too small. It's like, no. We can build it from scratch, or we can build it while you're at super high levels, right? A high level guy. Next one, Jay Barnett, former NFL player, mental health advocate, had his master's in psychology, I believe. So now he's like a mental health advocate for men and for Black men more specifically, right? So the problem with Jay is, it's back to this analogy that I always say. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it fall, does it make a sound? And that applies to Jay, right? Like Jay has all this wisdom, all this knowledge, but a lot of people just weren't able to see it. We have to get that content in the right eyeballs, right? So with that being said, let's backtrack a little bit, and I want to give, again, because you're building it from scratch, so I want to give you these examples that I want to relate to you, right? Billy Lau, professional boxer. A lot of people knew what he did. They didn't know who he was. So you got to focus on the who, right? Same thing with Tanner Chister. People knew what he did, what he accomplished, how high he got, but we had to go back and show who he was in order to make it relatable. Who he was is in, with mental health, who he was regarding to old content. Same thing with Jay Barnett. Like, we know what he does, NFL player, mental health advocate, but we had to show who he was. Right? We had to get these live seminars, these live keynotes, and we had to put that content out to the right people. So at the end of the day, personal branding is showing people who you are, not what you do, who you are. Let's go to the next slide. Even done it for myself. I have 3,000 followers. Why do I have 20,000 views? No trending sounds, no hashtags. I just post. But this message resonated with so many people. I think it got I don't remember. I think it got 200 shares. My life lesson from a millionaire. I'm telling you my life story in a way, right? I'm telling you a bit of my life story, who I am, what I've done, what I've learned with people that I've been around, right? Resonated, clicked. So moving on to the next one. I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, hey man, all this stuff's cool, but I'm not a pro boxer. I'm not a super successful online coach. I'm not a former NFL player. I've never lived with a millionaire. Why me? Why you? Right? Why would I start putting content about my personal brand? I haven't accomplished anything, right? Because again, we're going from scratch. Now, yes, you haven't accomplished anything, which I don't know, but let's just say, for the sake of it, let's just say, okay, yeah, you haven't accomplished anything. That doesn't matter though, right? That doesn't matter. Your story needs to be told. Your story needs to be told, guys, right? You offer a unique perspective on whatever it is that you do, right? Whether you're a realtor, whether you're an artist, a musician, whether you're a business coach, uh, construction worker, I don't know, like porn star, OnlyFans, foot model, whatever. Your story is what separates you from everyone else. I'm sure whatever you're doing, like it's saturated or it's going to be saturated or it's getting saturated. Yes. But you are what separates you from everyone else. The main issues with every single business, right, is it's a saturated market, or it becomes a saturated market. Hard for you to get sales because you haven't built up enough trust, right? I think 7 points of contact before someone makes a purchase, or you just don't have any audience. No one really knows what you do. They don't know who you are, and the only ones who do are people who you're selling to. So really, how does that work? Right? You have to spend a lot of money on advertising to do that. So how do you separate yourself from saturated market? Right? Let's go to number one. How to combat a saturated market, right? How to stand out from your competition. It's either offer, price, or customer experience, right? Offer is like what you provide to the customer. Price, I mean, do you really want to lower your price? No, because then you start competing on price. No, you don't want to lower your price. If anything, you got to raise your price. And then the last one, you compete with customer experience, right? Like the customer has to enjoy working with you over everyone else. That's how they're going to stay with you. All of these issues that we just talked about, offer, price, customer experience, they're all rooted in knowing you, trusting you, and liking you. Let me say it again. Knowing you, trusting you, and liking you. Right? So the offer, which is what you provide, they have to trust that you can deliver that. Price, again, we're not going down in price. We're going up in price. For them to pay what it is you charge, they got to trust you. They got to know you, they got to trust you. And in customer experience, they got to like you to stay with you. Because no matter what someone does, if you just don't like being around them, you're not going to want to continue working with them. So let's go to this one, right? That was a saturated market. Haven't built up enough trust, self-explanatory. Now, next one is no audience, right? Why should you build an audience? I gave you the example of Wes Watson. Let me give you another one. When you have an invested audience, the sale becomes 100 times easier no matter what the product. This photo right here is of Mr. Beast. This was Mr. Beast is, if you guys don't know, is a YouTuber. I don't know who he is. I probably should dive into it a little bit. I mean, I know who he is, but I've never really sat and watched his YouTube videos. But I know who he is, though, just because his name has gotten so big. This photo is actually when he opened up a restaurant in some mall. I think it was in New Jersey. And all of these kids were waiting for the restaurant to open. Again, let me reiterate. He's a YouTuber. Yeah, right. So let's look other examples, like someone like The Rock. Started off as a pro wrestler. Got into acting. Smooth transition. I remember going to see The Mummy Returns just because The Rock was in it. And when he was on the screen, I was waiting for him to do the people's eyebrow. I remember this, guys. Now he's a heartthrob. He's America's favorite actor, and he has a tequila now. Like I think he has a sneaker. He did some stuff for Under Armour. But again, all these companies invest in The Rock because he has a built-in audience. And why does he have a built-in audience? Personal branding. Guys, I don't know how else to explain this, right? again, we could run through the list. We can go through the list. Kevin Hart is a comedian. Now he's an actor. He has a podcast. I think he had a sneaker. Gary Vee has a sneaker. I mean, it's listen. I don't know. Like sometimes when people want me to like explain the benefits of a personal brand, I'm like, just look around, guys. Just look like. Do I really have to explain it? Just look around. Now, this is my 3-step framework, right? It's simple, but this is really what I use with all my clients. Who, what, why. That's it. Who, what, why. Who are you? Not what do you do? No. Who are you? Childhood, teenage years, family, friends, heartbreaks. Like tell me who you are before all of this. Before your career. At your core, when you're home and you're naked in the shower, who are you? I'm serious. Who are you? What do you do? Right? Who are you? What do you do? Right? That's when we start getting into like, what it is that you're providing the world. What service, what product, whatever it is, what do you do? And why do you do it? And that is important. A lot of people, they sleep on the why. The why is important. We're going to break this down. Who are you? This is a photo of me. If you see this photo, what do you think? I'm sure you're like, okay, he wears a hat, has a beard, camera. Oh, he's a videographer. Right? Because it doesn't look like I'm taking photos. It looks like I'm taking video. You're going to see this, you're like, okay, he's a videographer. Cool. And you're not going to think anything of it. You're like, oh, all right, done. No. This is who I am. Let's run through the list, right? Radio host, video production, podcasting, marketing, event coordinator, content strategist, copywriter, lead videographer, team leader, agency owner, Peruvian, Jay-Z fan, rapper, graphic designer, After Effects artist, top 5 R&B playlists in the country, killer ceviche maker, straight shooter, sketch comic graduate foodie. Right? Like this is important, by the way. I'm sure you're like, this is stupid. Like, who cares about this? How is this gonna make him money? This makes me a lot of money. This makes me a lot of money. To this day, I have spent $0 on advertising. To this day, all my leads have come organic. Why? Because they know when they hire me, this is what they're getting. Radio host. Okay, so that means he knows how to talk. He's comfortable on camera. Okay, maybe he can help me with that, right? Video production. Okay, he knows camera, he knows lighting, he knows lenses. Okay, great. That means he's going to make me look good on camera for sure. Podcasting. Okay, that means he knows how to hold the conversation. He knows how to interview. He knows how to talk. He knows how to listen. He can pull certain things out of me. Marketing. So event coordinator. Okay, so if I have a live event, he knows like he can add value in what I can provide for my clients or customers. Content strategist, copywriter, lead videographer. Oh, that means he's managed a few videographers before. Team leader. That means he's had a team before. Okay, so he knows management. Okay, so this isn't like a regular kid with the camera. This guy knows his stuff. Agency owner. Okay, so me as a business owner, if I hire him, he knows a lot of what I'm going through. Maybe on a different level, but he knows. So certain things I don't have to explain to him, right? Peruvian, Jay-Z fan, rapper. Oh, okay, so it means he's creative. Graphic designer. Oh, so he knows Photoshop. He knows how to design certain things. He knows Illustrator. Oh, okay. After Effects artist. Oh, okay. That means we can really get in depth with video. Okay, great. Top 5 R&B playlists of the country. Oh, this is hilarious. Killer ceviche. Oh, ceviche. Oh, okay. Guys, all this plays into who you are. All of this. Let's rewind. Look at this, and then look at this. How much would you pay this kid? If this is all you saw, how much would you pay? Okay. How much would you pay for this guy? You get where I'm going? Price went up. Yesterday's, the previous slide's price is not this slide's price, right? Cool. So, what do you do, right? When it comes to content, we talk about who you are, right? Go into every detail. And then we talk about what do you do. But we got to follow the 80-20 rule, guys. Nobody likes being sold to. People don't care what you do. To a certain extent, they don't care. They know what you do. They can look at your page, they know what you do. They look at your content, they know right away. I can spot a realtor from a mile away. He's a certain smile he has. Oh my God, this guy's a realtor. Right? So, more interested in who you are. 80% who you are, 20% of what you do. That's the rule for content, guys. If you're a realtor, stop making content about real estate. Nobody cares. Everyone and their mother's a realtor nowadays. Literally everybody. Make content about other stuff around real estate. This is some free game I'm giving you. Type of food you like, best restaurants in the city, show that you know the area, the neighborhood. Like, that's what you need. Again, 80% of who you are, what you like to do, you know, where you like to go, who you are, and then 20% real estate. It's not that complicated. Now, the reason why the why is important is because the why influences your delivery. Right? Like right now, one of my clients is a pro golfer, developing his personal brand. So when me and him had this conversation, I got to know who he was. He told me who he was, you know, what he was doing, Then I'm like, okay, well, what are you trying to do? Oh, I want to get into, I'm not going to say what, but it's like, I want to get into blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm doing. Then I'm like, okay, why though? Like, it's just money? Like, why do you want to do this? He said, because I want to educate minorities on how they can achieve real financial freedom through this method. And I said, oh, okay. Now I know, I get it. And when I found out the why, we went back to the who. And I said, okay, we need to make content like this, about this. And your delivery needs to be like this. Because if you're trying to teach and you're trying to educate, they have to trust you. So you can't talk down on them. You have to talk to them from a place of understanding and relatability. So we need to make this type of content. Boom. 120-day content strategy just right there. We got to work. So your why definitely influences as well. A lot of people don't think about that. You know, I had another client who at first wasn't a client. He was a prospect, hopped on the phone, and I asked him his why. Like, why do you want to do this? Your real why, not the stuff you put on you know, on social media. Your real why. And he was like, I don't know. Just trying to make money. I was like, bro, you got to figure it out, or else we can't work together. He came back to me a few months later, and he was like, I got it. And the reason why I chose not to work with him is because if you don't really have a why, if you're just putting out content just to put out content, one, you're not going to really want to create the content. Because, I mean, this is work, guys. This is work. You're not going to want to do the content. And then when you're going to do it, you're going to do it half-assed because you really have no purpose for it. So you got to think about your why, because that influences your delivery for sure. That's it. That's it. I mean, that's literally our 3-step framework for all our clients. Who, what, why. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you want to do this? And we create content with those things in mind. Thank you guys for tuning in. Alexis Turan, Chief Strategist of Old Life Media. If you have any more questions, hit the link, hop on the phone, have a conversation. Thank you guys for tuning in.